lime, come let me vibe, lime vibe. Oh, lime vibe.
Good night, everybody, and welcome once again to another LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host with the most, Yori Arman Kemp. Here by myself again. Kim is not feeling well. She's really sick, and she won't be with us for quite some time, from what I understand. So it's just going to be me riding with you for the next several episodes. So thank you for joining us again for another LimeVibe Live podcast. And if you have not done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. That's LimeVibe77. That's LimeVibe77 on Facebook and YouTube. You can watch us there. Please like, share, and subscribe, and share the videos with us. We really would appreciate that. And also, there's a donate link in the description. So anything that would move your heart to donate to the LimeVibe Live podcast, please do so. It's an open donation. Anything that you think that the LimeVibe Live podcast deserves, we will accept it. We appreciate your viewership. We appreciate your support because it really helps the show keep going in a positive direction. Okay? So thank you for joining us again this Friday evening. I know you could be anywhere else in the world, but thank you for joining me again. So we have a few things we're going to talk about tonight. It's a real good week, man. It was a real good week. How was your week this week so far? I had a great week. I had a beautiful week, man. We're going to end it out now. I may go out later on this evening after the show. May go out to the pub, even though I don't drink alcohol. I started drinking alcohol about 2-3 years ago. I am going out to the pub. I'm going to have myself a good time. I'm going to, at least congregate with the people. Because sometimes I still like to go out and still like to mix and mingle, even though I don't, drink and I don't do anything like that. But I still like to go and I like to rub shoulders with people. So I may go out to the pub later on this evening, just sit at the bar and have a fruit punch or a ginger ale or something like that. And just watch people as they go past, Now, like I said, we have a few things we want to talk about tonight. Well, the first is Shericka Jackson, Jamaican sprinter Shericka Jackson. She won the 200 meters at the World Championship Finals this year in Budapest, Hungary. And she repeats as world champion. And she repeats with the second fastest time ever, 21.41 seconds. Wow. 21.41 seconds for Shericka Jackson out of Jamaica. Give her a round of applause, please. I need to get a round of applause sound bite. I need to get a sound effect, a round of applause sound effect. So you guys can hear my pleasure, my happiness over Shericka Jackson winning the 200 meter race in the World Championships. And she beat out Americans. Let's see who the names are. She beat out Sha'Carri Richardson, and also another American. I've got her name. 200 meter World Championship. Let me find who the name of the person is. She beat out Sha'Carri Richardson, and not Thomas. It wasn't Thomas. Let's see what the news is. What is Sha'Carri Richardson, this right here. I think this is it right here. Oh no. Not that one. It was 4 hours ago. Okay, here we go. She beat out Sha'Carri Richardson and Gabby Thomas. Gabby Thomas and Sha'Carri Richardson, the two Americans. So I guess if you're not running at least a 21.45, you're not going to even come close to Shericka Jackson, because apparently this is probably the largest margin of anybody else inside the 200 meter race. So that's what the World Athletics folks in the Olympic Committee is saying. And so, yeah, she's breaking records and she's really pulling away from the field. And she really wanted some get back after losing the 100 meters to Sha'Carri Richardson early on this week. Her and Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, they ran second and third respectively in the 100 meters at the World Championships this year. And so she wanted some get back at Sha'Carri Richardson, who's really come back and fine for her. And we congratulate Sha'Carri Richardson as well, because from what she came back from, the suspension from marijuana, and really put herself back in shape and really running at top form. There's going to be an exciting Olympics next year. There's going to be a very exciting Olympics next year. I can't wait to see the sprints in the Olympics next. All the competition, because they think this competition right after the COVID-19 pandemic, the first one, the real Olympics after the COVID-19 pandemic, is going to be a really great one, man. So I'm looking forward to that. So yes, so big ups to Shericka Jackson from Jamaica for winning the 200 meter finals at the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary, with a time of 21.41. Big up to her. We also want to talk about this Donald Trump arrest, the former president of the United States, Donald Trump. He was arrested. And apparently this is the 4th time since April he's been arrested. Of course, he's answering 4 different indictments, 2 federal indictments, and 1 in New York. And this one that he was arrested for yesterday was in Georgia. Okay, but this is the first time they're actually taking a mugshot of Donald Trump. So I'm just going to show you this mugshot now of Donald Trump. Let me share my screen. Sorry. Let me share my screen to let you see exactly what he looks like. Let's see. Let's go and share the screen. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, this thing. Okay, there you go. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. Go to basic. Share screen. And everyone's been sharing this mugshot for quite some time now. Let's go. Let's see. It's here. You see that there? He's pissed, isn't he? He's pissed. Poor Donald Trump. He's pissed. Look at that. That scowl. Oh my goodness. I'd be pissed too if I was arrested, and dragged in front of the public in such a fashion. I'm the president of the at least the former president of the United States. I'd be pissed as well. And what he called it after his arrest in his mugshot, he said, what is taking place is a travesty of justice. He told us it's a travesty, as he was fingerprinted, he was booked, and he's processed this past Thursday. He's 77 years old. So 77-year-old man being arrested. So this is for this election interference in the Georgia elections. And so they're really taking this serious, man. They want to really knock him out of the race. I think this mugshot is a real poignant look at what people are going into in the Republican primaries this year. Do you want to take a risk on a candidate who may be arrested? Who knows? But I was listening to another YouTuber, Vlad TV, and he had Alan Dershowitz, American lawyer Alan Dershowitz, who said this isn't the first time that a candidate has ran for office after having been arrested. He pointed out in 2 instances, mayor from New York and another politician, another candidate. I forgot what race it was for. They all ran their campaigns from prison cell after they were arrested. So you may want to go and look at Vlad TV and see exactly the Alan Dershowitz interview. And you would see exactly what they're talking about there. But he said, this isn't the first time. So if Trump is arrested and he is put behind bars, he's looking to run for the president of the United States. It's going to be a long shot. So they're not just trying to discourage him from running. They want to knock him out the box. But I think what they do, I don't think America, as I said before, I don't think America really wants to go through with this processing of Donald Trump. I think this is something that they don't necessarily want to go. They just want him to bow out gracefully. They want him to take the shame and bow out gracefully. But I don't think he's going to take the shame and bow out gracefully. I don't think that he's that kind of fella. He's a hard-nosed New Yorker. Excuse me, 1 second. He's a hard-nosed New Yorker. And he's going to go down with the ship. He's going to go out and fight him because he believes in his cause. He believes that he was wrong in the 2020 election. And he sincerely believes that he was robbed. And I don't think that American legislators and politicians, the American elite, they want all the information about their elections being fraudulent or possibly being fraudulent out there in public domain. I don't think they want that. Okay, but Donald Trump is committed, and maybe it's a bit of naivety on his part as well, or he just may be one of those candidates who just doesn't care anymore. Let's tear the whole system down. Let's do something else. And that within itself is a problem because that's psychopathic and sociopathic tendencies, to be honest with you. You want to burn the whole system down because you didn't get your way, because you found out the truth. So he may be a bad candidate after all, but I'm telling you right now, I don't think that Donald Trump is going to pull back. So I think they're really going to have to put this straight to the end. And I don't think they're going to actually convict Donald Trump of anything, to be honest with you. He's still the former president of the United States, and he still has some power and some stripes. But if he is convicted, then that would be a serious thing. I think he's just going to blow everything out of the water. I don't think he's going to go around silently either. He's going to blow everything out of the water. Let's just hope that everyone is safe in the United States and this turmoil, subsides. Like, I don't think these liberal commentators understand what could happen to the United States if they, put Donald Trump away. It's not just the rednecks and his Donald Trump supporters that you have to be concerned about. You also have to be concerned about the U.S. image around the rest of the world as well. people seeing the United States fall apart. Right now, there are countries ready to back away from the US dollar. They're questioning why do they need the US dollar? You know, the BRICS countries, that's Brazil, China, India, and Russia. Brazil, China, India, and Russia. They're all deciding to find their own currency and back away from the US dollar for international trade, which could be a serious blow, especially with the Chinese involved, right? And of course, Russian President Vladimir Putin, he's backing this. I don't think that people would want to gravitate towards where all the major money players are. I don't think OPEC would want to join that. I don't think that Europe, the European Union would want to join a new international currency and move away from the United States. I don't think anyone wants to do it because let's remember how the US dollar came to be the international currency of choice. It came to be the international currency of choice because after the Second World War, there was no country that anyone could have trusted outside the United States that was stable enough to really base their trade, because everyone was still warring with each other. I mean, World War II, tensions were still kind of high, and they were really still fighting amongst themselves. So in order to avert a second world trade collapse, they decided, let's back our currency on the US dollar, who was seen at that time to be somewhat impartial and set away from the wars and the tensions in Europe and in Asia. And so let's use the US dollar as an impartial arbiter of trade. And so that's how the US dollar became the international dollar of trade, the international currency of choice. And so let's not forget that. And so the United States, with this Trump arrest, they're risking all of this. They're risking losing stature in the rest of the world. And I don't think we want to go on this route. I don't think American commentators really understand what's at stake here. So they think that they're sticking it at Donald Trump for whatever reason. You know, they hatred of Donald Trump has really gotten the best of them, I think. But I don't think they realize what they're doing to their own country. Okay, let's pull back a bit. Let's stop all this gloating that he's have his mugshot up now. Let's stop all this gloating. And I know he pissed you off. He called you fake news. And he really needled you. He pissed you off, okay? Get over that, man. And he was grotesque as he was. But I'm quite certain you've experienced more grotesque in your own life and your own family. So if you can't get along with your president, you know, my God, you know, get over that. Get over it. You don't have to win every election. You don't have to win every time. Eunice was mad that Donald Trump really put it to Hillary Clinton. That's what you're really pissed off with. You're really upset about that. But get over that, man. That was that election from that time. And he cleaned the clock. And people didn't want Hillary Clinton. Just get over it. You're taking a scorched earth policy right now. And it's not helping anybody. All right, get over it. I don't think you're going to like the end result of this. You're not liking the end result right now. People are looking at the United States right now and thinking about pulling away from the US dollar. People are actually seriously making moves towards that. Countries like Egypt, who are glorified second world countries, you know, they're thinking about pulling away from the US dollar. These countries are not supposed to even have that in their mouths. What next? You're going to have Central American countries and Caribbean countries that's coming in those of the United States because you can't get your own political house in order, because you just can't leave Donald Trump alone. And you're making Donald Trump more than what he is. You are making him more than what he is. You keep on talking about him and promoting him. And right now, with this arrest, probably only just solidified in people's mind, his hardcore supporters' mind, that Donald Trump is their man. And they're going to go down with him and they're going to support him to whatever it is, to whatever extent. And so now you're really angering this mob, this Trump faction, who will find another candidate and put their resources behind that person who could be seen as Trump light or someone who's similar to Trump. So it's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. Anyway, but you can't talk to Americans sometimes. They're just that arrogant, right? They don't understand the psychology behind all of it. So you just got to let them go through this process and see exactly how much it's going to hurt. They're going to look back at this time and say, you know something, we did all that. We complained and we cajoled and we acted so wickedly and so obscenely over one particular man, destroyed our country based off of this. This is not strengthening the United States. It makes us see that you're weak and you don't know how to interact with each other. That's my humble take on that. That's a hot take. You know, but talking about other countries in the Americas, this El Salvador gang crackdown, man, this has really been a success story in El Salvador. We talked about this before on the LimeVibe Live podcast. We're going to talk about it again. You know, this gang crackdown in El Salvador started in March 2022. And before that, El Salvador was seen as the most violent country in the Western Hemisphere, if not one of the most violent countries in the world, outside of the African countries that are in war, that are in civil war. Okay, they had 103 murders for 100,000 persons before this crackdown in March 2022. But right now, they're averaging, as of today, they're averaging 53 murders per 100,000 human beings in El Salvador. That's roughly half. That's half. They half the homicide rate. That's a success story of anything I've ever heard before. They've halved the murder rate, the homicide rate, from 103 per 100,000 to 52 per 100,000 in the space of about a year. You know, and of course, you know, civil rights groups and human rights groups, they've said, oh no, you know, the way he's gone about, he's arrested a lot of innocent people, but he's cleaned up the streets though. And El Salvador is safe to walk through. But before this, you know, before he went on this mad rampage, Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, went on this rampage. He arrested all these gang members, right? There was, people don't talk about this, there was a massacre, for a 3-day massacre back in February. And I think it was February, March, yeah, in February of 2022, where there were about 87 people killed in one weekend. And these weren't just gang people, these were civilians. And these gangs just started attacking and assaulting innocent people, vendors, you know, people on the buses, bus drivers, people in the marketplace. They just was killing indiscriminately. They were saying that they control the streets in El Salvador, you know, and Nayib Bukele, the president, said, no, you don't. No, you don't control anything in El Salvador. And he took it to them. And he arrested, he arrested nearly 72,000 people since March 2022. 72,000 people since March 2022. He arrested 72,000 gang members, not suspected gang members. And there were over 150 people killed in this entire raid. And so, but here's what, the homicide rate is 52 per 100,000 right now. And he cleaned up the streets. And he created a mass prison, the largest prison in Central America right now, the largest prison in Latin America, actually, from what I understand, to house these 72,000 degenerate gang members who's really besmirched El Salvador and had El Salvador listed as the most violent country in the world. Him, Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, cleaned that up. He cleaned that up. And he put these guys behind bars. That should be commended. That's a turnaround. That's a success story. You don't get those kinds of success stories because in the rest of the Western world, you know, we've gotten too polite. We've gotten too polite. Too polite, we call it here in the Bahamas. We've gotten too soft. We want to have all these conversations with these human rights groups and these civil rights groups. And we're talking about rights for degenerate animals. No, he saw it was a festering crime and he fixed the problem. That's the kind of leadership you need. That's the kind of leadership you need in these times. He fixed the problem. He got rid of these nasty gangs, these degenerate gangs, and he broke their backs. He broke their backs along with his armed services, broke the backs of these criminal gangs. And he must be commended for that. He will go on history in El Salvador. That's a man. That's a great man. Other Central American countries, they've been trying to emulate what he's done. You had Xiomara Castro, the president of Honduras. She tried to emulate that, but she had her own crackdown in December of 2022. But she only arrested about 650 people, though. You know, she hasn't really gotten much traction with that. And is really starting to tell. But people are just, the rest of the other Central American leaders, they're commending him for what he's done, his approach in dealing with these gangs. Yeah, he broke a few eggs. You know, but you need to break a few eggs to make an omelet, baby. And some innocent people were arrested, but right now the streets are cleaner. It's better than the El Salvador being besmirched year after year of being the most violent country in the Western Hemisphere. He decided to clean it up, and you know that's what leadership does. He saw there was a festering problem and could not be solved. He decided, let's go for it. Let's deal with it resolutely. And you know, like I said, other Central American countries are trying to emulate that. They're looking at him, and other Latin American countries actually. They're looking at him as a success story. They want to emulate that. They want to break these gangs. Now, if Brazil tries it with President Lula da Silva, if he tries to break some of the gangs and the criminal gangs in Brazil, then you're going to say, oh yeah, he's really, this strategy by Nayib Bukele is really taking hold in Latin America. And I expect it to happen. But this is what happens when, you know, I think these crackdowns happen as a result of the COVID-19 protocols, okay? People saw how easy it was to really restrict people's movement and really to put people under house arrest, and how easy it was just to put people on the back burner and say, hey, stay in your house between 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next morning. And I think with that COVID-19 protocol, those lockdown protocols, he decided like, hey, since I've done it so easily with COVID-19, let's do it for crime. I could just issue a decree in Parliament and say, so give me emergency powers. And he was granted emergency powers. He didn't take it upon himself. He went to his El Salvadorian Parliament and he asked them for emergency powers to deal with these gangs. And he got it done. He got it done. And he has to go back to the Parliament every so often to have these powers renewed, but they kept on renewing because you know why? He's getting success. He's showing you how many people he's been locking up. These gangs who he's been breaking them in two. So he has to be given the power because he's showing results. He's showing you how much he's been arresting people. And you can't really argue with that. That's success. And he snubbed his nose at the human rights groups and the civil rights groups and said, something, we're not going to listen to you at all. We're going to break this problem. We're going to make El Salvador a safe and peaceful place for people to come and visit. And he's doing that. From 103 murders a year to 52 murders a year, that's not a success. Look at yourself. That's not a success. He halved the murder rate. That's a success. Like the lady in Honduras, President Castro in Honduras, she's trying it, but she's not, as strong as Nayib Bukele is. But, let's wish her all the best as well. Let's wish her all the best with that. Let's go back and talk about Trump for a second, though. Like I said, I don't think America's gonna like this, man. I don't think America's gonna like this at all. It's a very, very unfortunate thing to have an American president arrested and mugshotted like this. Because what's going to happen is now you're going to see the cycle that you've been seeing in the rest of the Central American countries. And this is why I circle back to this, because we've been seeing these political hit jobs in Central America with the former Panamanian president being arrested and sentenced to 10 years in jail. Now, we've seen an Ecuadorian presidential candidate shot and killed. That's a separate story, okay? And we've also seen several other former leaders in Central America be taken to task and brought before the courts. And so do we want to continue this legacy, this trajectory? Because what's going to happen is you're going to have a Republican president come in. He's going to want to try to do something against the former president who may be a Democrat. I don't think America's supposed to be bigger than this, man. America's supposed to be much bigger than this. I just don't like that. And you're going to see these political hit jobs, and you're going to see these political back and forth. You don't want that to continue on your country. It makes your country look like a seedy country. You don't want that happening. I just don't like it. That's me. I don't like political retribution. It doesn't serve anybody. What should be happening now is you should be focusing on President Joe Biden's term and how much progress he's putting in place, or how much progress he's making for the American people. That's where your eyes should be focused on. But you're not focusing on that because you know why? Because President Joe Biden has not been doing a good job. And everyone can see that. Inflation, the high cost of living, some of the things he wanted to do, he couldn't get done. He wanted to absolve student debt. The court said, no, you just can't absolve student debt like that. You just can't do that like that. You just can't go in and say, I want to wipe all these students' debt clean. That's not the way the world works. That's not the way the banks work. You borrowed money to go to school, that's fine. You are supposed to be a better human being right now. You're supposed to be a better citizen right now. You're supposed to be adding value. So add some value to America. You just can't have your debts washed away. Mine's aren't washed away. I'm still paying my student debts right now, my student loans right now. They wouldn't forgive me. Actually, I'm paying more because I've missed so many years. I thought they would have forgiven it, right? You don't forgive those loans, man. You gotta pay. You gotta pay. You gotta pay. Everybody else gotta pay. And so with that, Trump's taking out a peg or two. Let's go back to some other things he said, though. He also said that he called the district attorney a low-life district attorney, Fami Willis. So I have to start getting ready to head down to Atlanta, Georgia to get arrested by a radical left low-life district attorney, Fani Williams. Trump said on Thursday. My goodness. He's such a crass man, but he's a New Yorker. You've embraced these New Yorkers all these years. America's embraced these New Yorkers for what they are. These crass, rude, straightforward, in-your-face New Yorkers. And Trump is a New Yorker to the core, and you've embraced that all these years. You herald New York as the city of lights, the fastest city in the world, the best city in the world. But this is what a New Yorker is. This is what a New Yorker is. Trump is a prototypical New Yorker. just happened to be the president and very, very rich, or the former president, very, very rich. You know, and these are the kind of things Trump was saying all his life, because that's the things that come out of a New Yorker's mouth on a daily basis. This kind of crass, crude, and rude kind of commentary, and this back in your face, this hard-nosed street fighter kind of mentality. This is how they carry on. This is how they interact with each other. This is what Americans do, you know. And so you've heralded him all these years. You loved him when he was Donald Trump, the real estate mogul. You had him in the news all the time, from NBC, to CBS, to ABC. He is the paragon of American capitalism. You heralded him. You created him. You built him up. And now all of a sudden you don't like him anymore. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. So, you know something, you can't really look down any other country right now because of what you're going through right now. America's already being devalued in front of the eyes of many people in the world. Okay? And it's sad, but it's true. You may want to hear that, but it's true. Yeah, so let's leave Donald Trump alone then. You know? And these BRICS countries, these BRICS countries, they want to, and Americans are really panicking. The average American is really panicking about this now, you know. They're really panicking that these BRICS countries are going to stop their own dollar, their own currency, and for international trade. We wish them all the best. I don't think it's going to work out, because right now, what you have now is you have Russia in the middle of a war. So what happens when you back the currency based on the Russian ruble, and Russia goes through a war and they decide to invade somebody? What you going to do then? Who are you going to trade with then? And they have to pull back dollars, they have to fund their war. What you going to do then? What happens when, you know, South Africa goes through a depression or a recession, or Brazil goes through a depression or a recession? What happens when authoritarian government in China decides they're going to pull back all the currency from the rest of the world, and you get a mad leader in China? Which could happen. It could happen. All right, because it's still an authoritarian regime. It still could happen. We're going to have a dictator in place. President Xi Jinping right now, he solidified his power for years. They thought that they were going to never see a leader for life again in China, but they do in Xi Jinping. So these are the things that you don't have to deal with the United States in terms of their economy. It's a free economy, and barring, you know, issues like Donald Trump we discussed early on, it's relatively a stable currency. Okay, it's going to be stable regardless. See, that's another thing too. I don't think people realize that the United States is more than just the president of the United States, you know. The president of the United States is just a figurehead. There's an entire government behind that. And no one person could tear that down. It's just impossible to do that, because it's built to be more than just one person. Mind you, the president is a very important figure, but it's built to be more than just one person. It's the Congress, it's the Senate, it's the civil bureaucracy. You know, it's more than just one person. You know, it's shocking to have someone like Donald Trump as president, but it's more than just one person. He has a lot of power, but it's more than just one person. It's built to be that way. And so we're looking at this now. We're looking at all these other countries who are complaining about the United States dollar. We're looking at them, and we're seeing them to be on a more rickety boat than anybody else. At least a case can be made for Europe being an international trade currency of trade, because they have built some sort of stability within themselves. But even them, their union is falling apart. There's too many different nationalities under the European Union. So you don't know when someone's going to fall apart, when someone's going to pull away, like I have with Brexit. You don't know if Greece is still going to pull away. You're not sure if these countries are going to pull away and really destabilize the European Union. And so you really can't trust them. So the United States is really the only country that you really could look at right now and say, you know something, they have a stable economy. It's somewhat unitary. And even though it's not controlled by one individual, it's kind of stable. All right. And you could actually, you know, plant your corn by their rain to some extent. These other countries, you can't do that. And so this is just bluster. They understand. I don't think that President Lula da Silva wants to have his currency, you know, determined by Vladimir Putin in Russia. I think Vladimir Putin in Russia wants his currency to be controlled by Xi Jinping in China and anyone else around the world. I don't think they want that. Of course they don't want that. So them themselves, they're wishing for this stuff. It's only bluster. They know they want the US dollar. I wouldn't want any other currency right now. Looking at the rest of the countries, the rest of the established economies, I wouldn't want any other economy aside from the United States. That's just a purebred facts. Even though they've been cheap over the last several years, that's a purebred fact. It's just more stable, it's more peaceful, it's more reliable. I don't expect a civil war to break out in the United States anytime soon. I don't expect Texas to break away from the United States Union anytime soon and put it in jeopardy. I don't expect Mexico or Canada to invade the United States anytime soon. I don't expect the U.S. Federal Reserve to fall apart and really crash the U.S. dollar anytime soon. It could happen. I don't expect that to happen anytime soon based on their bravado and their arrogance. I don't expect it anytime soon. Okay, but talking about bravado and arrogance, let's talk about this manliness nowadays. You know, this is my social commentary. I've been seeing, let me drink some water before I actually go into this, because this could be my drunken rant, my nightly rant, even though I don't drink, right? Are men losing their manliness? I know it's kind of a different change of pace, but instead we're talking about bravado. Are men losing their manliness? You know, I go out from day to day on a daily basis, and I see these guys, these men, these young men, with their hair in a bun, tied up in a bun, like a gal, like a little gal, you know, like a little girl, man. Got your hand in a bun like a pretty boy. What are you doing? Are you a man? You got a hairstylist too? You got your nails done, you got your toes did. You know, you soak your feet in watermelon juice. That's what you do. You know, why are these young men turning into girls all of a sudden? And we're not talking about they're just dressing like females. They're actually, you know, they're looking like women. They're actually having mannerisms like women. You know, these guys aren't coping with the new stresses. And I'll tell you something right now. I don't blame single mothers or absentee fathers for all this. I blame the way the world has really been turning. They've really been making a concerted effort to turn men into little wimps. You know, they want their hair in a bun. You know, they want to look like a girl. They want to act like a girl. They want to be nice looking. And I don't think that's healthy moving forward. Now, call me old-fashioned. I'm an old-fashioned guy. Call me old-fashioned. I know it's more than just a hair bun, but I'm seeing their mannerisms as well. They're acting like they want attention, like a little girl. Only little girls want attention. You know, you want your hair in a bun. You want your hair plaited back, rolled back, like a little gal, French rolls and cornrows. You know, what's that about? What kind of attention you want? You're a little girl? You're a girly girl? You're a gal? I think we've lost the argument on some of these young men, man. You know, we've lost the war with some of these guys. And until we get them back. And I'm not just talking about, you know, soft guys who grew up in a nice household or a nice area. I'm talking about street guys got their hair in a bun. You're talking about guys who from the ghetto got their hair rolled back in cornrows and got their hair buttered and twisted up like a bunch of sissies. Like a bunch of little girls, man. And they're dressed in their culture. You know, these tight jeans. You know, I bought a pair of tight stretch jeans the other days. I went out with a girlfriend of mine. And I told her, you know, I don't like these jeans because they're too tight. They look too tight. She said, oh, they look fine. I say, no, I feel sissified in these. This is not what I would wear. I didn't realize the jeans would have been that tight. But those tight stretch jeans. And I have big thighs and big legs and big calves too. So, you know, they were really hugging me tight. So she probably was getting off on that. But still, though, that's not the way I want to look. I'm not some kind of cake boy, some stripper. I'm a grown-ass man. You know, I don't really want to be in tight clothes. And the funny thing is, the rapper Trina, she was in the Bahamas back in December last year. I went to go and see, and I had those same jeans on. And the female security guard, she patted me from head to toe, and she felt me. I was sexually assaulted. She saw me in those tight jeans, man. I was sexually assaulted. I'll never forget that. Never forget how I was sexually assaulted at that club when I went to see Trina. Sexually assaulted, man, because of these tight jeans. Yeah, but I don't like those kinds of stuff, man. I still have jeans as well, but that's not the way I would want to look. You know, I see these young guys, they got these tight jeans, they're falling off the hip. And the tight jeans go all the way down to the ankles. You know, these stretch jeans. What kind of fellas are these, man? Well, how are they making these fellas nowadays? They're making these fellas out to be girls, man. But like I said, I don't think there's anything to do with the absentee fathers or single mothers. I just think it's the way the society is being changing and turning. You know, they're being bombarded with all this metrosexual stuff everywhere they go. And they're turned on by that. And they want the attention. They want the validation the way a young girl would want validation. That's not young man supposed to want validation like that. You know, everybody going and taking selfies and pictures like this, doing that kind of foolishness. Yeah, I mean, take a selfie every now and then, but my goodness, everywhere they go and they doing these stuff, man, looking for validation, looking for attention. You guys are looking for attention. Little girls are doing it. So why are these people growing their young men to want this kind of validation and attention? There's something's wrong with the way society is turning, and we're losing the battle on these young men. Because if you don't have strong young men to lead the next generation, you're gonna have these, what you have right now, chaos and confusion. We've seen women come to the forefront, and what have we gone for? We've gotten more crime, we've gotten more confusion, we've gotten more chaos in the streets because women are in control. And yes, we can't blame this on absentee fathers. We can't blame that on absentee fathers. These wayward, lousy men who just abandon their responsibilities in this community. You have to fight to the end. You can't give up. But I think the erosion of society has been going on for the past 50 years, 100 years. Every year they've gotten weaker and softer and softer. Man, don't stick out the way my grandfather used to stick it out with his wife. You know, 13 kids, he stuck it out. He stuck it out and he fought. Every day he fought. He went to work and he fought for his family. These fellas don't have it nowadays. My father abandoned our family. He wanted to do whatever it is he wanted to do. And so we've seen generation after generation, we've lost this step with our young men. Me personally, I haven't abandoned my family. I don't have a family yet. I don't intend to. Now, I'm not one of those guys who are going to have these children out of wedlock. I'm not that kind of guy. So I understand how much it damages the family, how much it damages the next generation. Okay? But I grew up in a single parent home, but my hair is in a bun. You know, I'm going to walk on my hair in a bun. I abhor tight pants. You know, I abhor the spotlight too. Even though I'm doing this podcast right now, I abhor really the spotlight. I'm doing this right now because I'm doing this because I want to share the information because God has blessed me to do it. And he's given me the idea to say, you know, so reach out to these people, Yuri. That's what I'm doing this for. Okay? I'm on a mission from God. Like the Blues Brothers, I'm on a mission from God. But otherwise than that, I don't need validation from anybody. I don't need validation from anybody. Man, woman, beast, child, puppy, cat. I don't need that. But apparently a lot of these young men do. They got their hair in a bun, they got their hair twisted out and fritzed out like a little girl. You know, what next? What next, man? Tight shirts and tight pants. And it's really the sissification of the young black man, I call it. Because I seen the young white males, the chads, they call them, the chads, now they got their hair in their bun. They can grow their hair out like that, all right? They're beach bums, you know. And I can understand their hair can grow like that. But you have young black men really have peasy knotted hair. One have rolled down here like a gal, like a little girl. Come on, man. Get right. Get yourself right, man. Start being a man. Start taking responsibility. Don't abdicate your responsibility as a man, as a male figure. Don't abdicate your responsibility. Take your role seriously. I sound like an old guy, old father that's preaching on the side of the road, right? Yeah, but it's really sickens me, man. When I go and I see these guys looking the way they look, you know. It's not that I'm jealous. I'm not jealous of anybody. You know, just not me. You see my face? I grow a beard. I grow a luscious beard, actually. All right? I'm not jealous of anybody. I'm just noticing that these things are happening in the society. You know? I guess you can call me a cultural commentator. I guess you can say that about myself. But yeah, it's not a good look, man. And more of these young men are doing it. More and more of these young men are doing it, man. You know, I was wanting to talk about people before I come on the show, but I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to talk about it because I could do it. I could do it. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm just saying, I'm just watching the culture the way it's been forming and developing. You know? And we have a lot of beaten down young black men too. You have a lot of beaten down young black men who walk with their chest stuck out, who don't walk with any kind of assertiveness, any kind of intention. They walk like, you know, yeah. Their arms swaying, you know, like they have no ambition, like they have no direction, like they have no testosterone in them. You know, sometimes put some bass in your voice. Know and humble yourself now. Don't go around being an idiot to everybody, but walk with some authority, man. Some power. Anyway, I think I'm maybe running out as well too in the show. But yeah, I've noticed that, man. We have to take these young men by the hand. We have to take them by the hand. We have to show them what to do. Or maybe the previous generation doesn't know what to do. Like I said, my father wasn't here. I had to learn all this stuff on the fly by myself. Mom couldn't teach me because she didn't know how to be a man. So I had to learn this stuff by myself. There was an innate something inside me, an innate drive inside me to be a male figure. I was never attracted to these hair bun guys or becoming a hair bun guy or tight pants guy. It's never my style. And I want to get back to my grandfather's day and age when they took their responsibilities seriously. Like I said, he had 13 kids. He took care of all of them. He stood there with all of them. He was a man. He was a real man. Intelligent man who was a teacher. He's an educator. He's an intelligent man. He took care of his family. He took his responsibilities very, very seriously. And we need to get back to that. His generation, where he took his wife and his family very, very seriously. There was no hair bun with him. He didn't have his hair bun. And even my other grandfather as well. He took his responsibilities seriously. He was an ultra alpha male. My paternal grandfather was an ultra alpha male. A high top earner. Serious man. Hard man. You know? That's what you looked up to. We want to get back to that, but for some reason along the line, the next generation, their children, they lost a step. I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened. Could it be the media? Maybe. But I'm noticing now a trend now on social media as well. We have a lot of these cultural commentators out there. They're trying to get young men back to being young men back to being men, and being more stronger and being a bit more masculine in their frame, you know, because the market is crying for it. You have a lot of out of control men who are operating in a paradigm that they don't know anything about. It's not their natural fit. They're watching these things, these female-dominated shows, and saying men should be emotional and soft and be in touch with their emotions. And that's not the way that's supposed to be. You're supposed to hold their masculine frame, their stoic frame. You know, you have these cultural commentators like Fresh and Fit. You have other commentators like Andrew Tate. You even have a female commentator, Pearl Davis, Hannah Pearl Davis, talking about how men should go about being men and uplifting themselves and getting themselves together. These are the kind of content young men are really clamoring for. They're really getting off the video games. They're actually tuning into these things. And as they should, because they're looking for guidance. They're looking for leadership. Well, I'm going to add myself to the manosphere as well. I may as well, because I'm seeing it as well. And I'm sickened by it. I'm sickened by these hair bun guys. I'm sickened by them. You know? And I can't believe their mothers and their fathers, they allowed them to come to the house looking like that. I can't believe that. That's what you're attracted to, miss? That's what you want your son to look like? That's the kind of fella you want to groom? Who you want a young female to take seriously as a masculine man? That's what you're doing, ma'am? That's really what that's about? Or sir, that's really what that's about? That's how you attracted their mother, with your hair in a bun? With tight pants on, your pants down to your hips? That's what attracted his mom? Really? That's what you did? Really? That's what she liked? Let's be serious here, man. Let's take control of our young men again. The young women have themselves together. They have their act together. That's fine. I'm not going to, take a dump on young women. Of course not. We love women. I love women. But we got to put some focus on the young men. We need to get them back to the center square. Get them back to their rightful position as leaders in this country. Because the women are asking for it. They're begging for it. They don't want to be in charge. Deep down, they know darn well that they don't want to be in charge of anything because it's too much responsibility. I was talking to Kim the other day on a show we did previously, and they don't even have the inclination for leadership. Like they had that crime summit in Trinidad and Tobago early on this year, and not a women's group was represented at the summit, at the crime summit. But crime affects everybody, but not a women's group was represented at that summit. I asked them, where's the women's groups? Where was the women's groups? They don't take their leadership roles seriously. That's something you shouldn't even have to be invited to something. You're supposed to just go down there and sit yourself down at the table and start talking about crime because you're victims of crime too. The young men who are uncontrollable, who are out of control, they're raping you. They're assaulting you. They're robbing you. Single mother, woman. That's supposed to be something you're supposed to be at the forefront, but it wasn't in your mind that they have leadership to think about everybody else. Because that's not the female mind. The female mind does not focus on everybody else. The female mind is essentially focused on her. That's the capacity she has. It's very rare you have a female who thinks about the chessboard and thinks about all the players in the field. Very, very off. Very, very, very seldom you have that. Okay? They just didn't think they were supposed to be there. But you should have showed up. And I'm encouraging women to show up to these things. Show up to these leadership events. And don't just go there to be backslapping and say, oh, look at me, I'm a woman, look at me, a heavy raw. No, go and actually participate. Join something, get involved, put your voice to the table. That's why people like Mia Marthy is so rare. She puts her voice to the table. Like her or you don't like her, but at least she shows up. She's more masculine than some of these other male leads around the Caribbean. Yeah, they're going to like me saying it, but it's true. It's true. She don't wait to be asked. She pops up and she shows up when something's going on. She gets involved. If it's not her business, she makes it her damn business. It's my business now. And that's the kind of leadership. That's what leadership is about. And it's very rare you see that in a woman. Very rare. And look who's being more women have been gravitating towards her. You know, but not every woman could be Mia Martin. She is a very special case indeed by herself. Not everyone can be her. She's a very special case. You go around the place acting fool around your man or your boyfriend or your husband, you may get slapped in the mouth. I hope not, because not every woman can wear the pants in a relationship, and women should know their role. But they can't know their role if men who are supposed to be in charge naturally don't know their role. How can a woman fill her role and be comfortable in her role when the man's walking around here with his hair in a bun and tight pants? How can a woman feel comfortable being in herself, her feminine aura, and you have a boyfriend being more feminine than her? What is she going to be now? Who's going to lead her? Who's going to be her rock? I'm telling you, man, we need to get this back, man. That's my rant for the evening. I might as well get out here shortly, man. But I just want to encourage you guys, please like, share, and subscribe to LimeVibe Live Podcast. That's LimeVibe 77 on Facebook and YouTube. LimeVibe 77 on Facebook and YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. We really appreciate you guys supporting us. We're going to continue to grow the channel. We're going to continue to move forward and give you content and expertise and a view from the Caribbean. Hopefully, Kim sorts out her illnesses. She's going to be back with us. If not, we're going to keep on pushing with the show. We're going to keep on delivering content to you guys that you like and you want to hear from, and you want to hear from, and you want to hear about, actually. So that's my last rant for the night. So let's get out of here, man. I didn't go the full hour. It's about 45 minutes, but still, I feel proud that I did this. But let's go. So please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. This is Yori Camp again. And I want to encourage you, tune in again. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention again. Please, we're going to suspend the Wednesday shows from here on in. The Wednesday shows are going to be suspended because I've started my classes again. My classes go until 8 in the night on Mondays and Wednesdays. I may be able to do the Monday show because Monday's the first start of the week. May jam in, but Wednesday, sure. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I want to spend that block of my time just reading my law books because it's a very difficult course. It's extremely difficult. I didn't realize how difficult it would have been. It was extremely difficult. And I just want to, devote some time and make sure I devote some time to just reading my work on a consistent basis. And so that Wednesday evening, I want to devote that block to just reading my books because if I don't pass, no one's going to want me around here. You're not going to want a failure around you. Would you want to have someone who failed? You don't want to fail them. But I could do it. I feel very confident. I feel very encouraged about this semester going in. I'm soon at the end of the road. I'm about 72 credits in. I need to make it to 120. I roughly got about 2 more years and to do my undergrad. Then I have to go to bar school after that. But we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely going to finish this law program. I'm going to finish this law degree. So I realize now my conversations have changed. I look at it from a legal perspective now. I look at it and I'm able to add value to a conversation and tell people, this is not what we do. This is not the way the courts will look at certain things. This is not the way the world works. And the world works on 2 platforms. The world works on litigation and on money. If you don't know the rules and the parameters of how to engage the system, you're not going to win. If you don't have money behind you, you're not going to win. So the world works on money and knowing the rules of the system. If you don't know those things, then you're out of it. That's just the facts. That's just the cold, hard facts of the world. Okay? So like I said again, please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page, LimeVibe 77. That's LimeVibe 77 on Facebook and YouTube. We really appreciate you. So we're going to get out here. So good night, everybody. Thank you. Be back on Monday for another LimeVibe Live podcast.